Hey all, welcome to ShareTreck. Today is the 15th of March 2022. And as always in our CRISPR daily update video, I'm going to have three sections. One is to talk about news and the macroeconomics that's going to impact us on the stock market. The second part is going to be an analysis of VXN and NASDAQ. And the third part is going to be the analysis of Genomic shares. Let's get started. So in terms of one-day relative performance, we have financials at the top, followed by consumer defensives, and healthcare is coming a close third, but it's still negative. But if we were to look at the whole week, financials have done much better the whole week, and industrials seem to have been better on a whole week scale, which means in the last day or so, industrial has lost big time and they have slipped down. And if you look at the 1 month relative performance, utilities and energy are still in the top, with base metal following just behind that. So the story out here is that energy has fallen significantly in the last week, right from the all-time high for oil. It has fallen down, and that's the story out here. So financials still seem to be a common theme across, which is doing much better for the last week so far. So having said that, now let us look at the next set of data that we have, which is the crypto performance. So when we look at the crypto performance, it's been lackluster. Our Bitcoin has been very sluggish. It had gone all the way up to 40,000 and then it came down. And right now it's hanging around 38,805. And it seems to me that crypto fortunes are tied with the indices and volatility because of the uptake of crypto by Main Street Finance. So this is likely going to be the story going forward. And in a way, that's a good thing for crypto because the formal financial market is way bigger than the informal market in which it was dealing in its early days. So this is overall very good for cryptocurrency. So having said that, let us go and look at the stock market heat map. So in terms of the stock market heat map, you can see here that the technology sector has had taken a big beating. Software application particularly has had a lot of hits on it, as you can see around here in this area. And Apple, of course, has taken a solid hit despite the fact that it's a really good company. So that shows you the amount of fear in the market and people just bailing out and taking their cash to sit in the sidelines. If you look at Tesla, it has dropped 4.75%, and this company again has been taking a huge beating. Amazon has recovered a little bit, but that's reflected by the consumer defensives, which are being sold on Amazon potentially. Walmart is doing well. However, Costco is down. I don't know why that difference is there between them. They are supposed to be both gaining at the same time. Then if we look at our financial sector, financial has been doing well. Visa, which had been beaten down quite a bit, is resurgent. PayPal is also rearing its head up again because PayPal is severely beaten up stock. And next, if you look at our healthcare sector, Pfizer is doing better with 8.9%. And AbbVie and Eli Lilly have been doing very well. Now, this stock heat map is for the whole week. I'm looking at the whole week up to the Monday. So that's the lay of the land out here. We have to see what's going to happen during this year, this week, and how it's going to metamorphosize. We'll take a look at the end of that. And this brings me to the point of taking a look at the overall macroeconomic situation. So in terms of the overall macroeconomic situation, what I would like to say is that all this flux that we have seen from the beginning of last week up to Monday has been orchestrated by the fall in the price of oil. The initial fall in the price of oil came when there was positive reports about talks between Ukraine and Russia. So I believe there was a news article where Putin was quoted saying that we are having constructive discussions and it seems promising. That initially brought down the oil price. The latest drop in oil price is also because of the fact that in China there's a lockdown due to COVID, and some industrial zones are being locked down. As a result, the oil demand has fallen temporarily, I would add, and that has reduced the price further. And in between, there was the call for OPEC to increase oil production in order to reduce the pressure on oil prices. The sum total of all of that is a metamorphosis of the stock heat map from where it was into where it is now. And we saw that whole transition in this chart. If you look at the month relative performance, week relative performance, and daily relative performance, you can see that we have energy at the very bottom in the week. So that's what has happened, because energy has taken a lot of hit. And if you look at the 1 month relative performance, you'll see energy sitting at the very top, the second best for the month. So all that change has happened in the last week. That's the reason why I wanted to show you these charts. Now, what's going to happen this week going forward is all going to depend on the Russia-Ukraine story and how it turns out. So having said that, let's get started with the NASDAQ and the VIX. Okay, so today let's start with oil. And as you can see, US oil has dropped $5.96. That's around 5.83%. And when we look at this bar chart out here, this is US oil, and each of the candle is a one-day candle. And you can see that we had dropped all the way down to the 50-day exponential moving average and then bounced back up again. So we are right now at 96.46. So the challenge for today would be to fall below the 50-day exponential moving average, and that will be a good outcome for the market. As you can see, the MACD is bearish, which is a good sign, and the momentum has fallen below average. Both of these things I really like, because it indicates that there's going to be a further downslide in the price of the commodity out here. And if that happens, it's going to have a very good impact on the VXN. So let's look at the VXN. VXN right now is still being supported by the diagonal line that we drew earlier. And it also has got support from the 9-day exponential moving average, which is this yellow line out here. So between that and this diagonal line, it is still staying buoyant right now at 36.55. The MACD is bullish, but barely so. But the momentum is above average, which is what worries me. But given the fact that oil is going the other direction, we should potentially expect VXN to drop further. However, if oil decides to go up in price again, then we are going to see a VXN also spurt. So that's the dynamic that we have to watch out for. And in sympathy, NASDAQ is down minus 2.04%, which is around 262 points. And we have fallen below our support line here, which was holding for at least quite a while, I would say, all the way from 24th February up to 11th of March. And therefore, I think I'm going to remove this. I'll wait until the end of the day before I remove this diagonal line, because there's still a chance that we may bounce back. MACD is bearish, and momentum is below average and still falling. So it's not looking good for NASDAQ today. However, as I mentioned earlier, if oil continues falling, that's going to be a positive effect on VXN and NASDAQ. So having said that, let's go and have a look at our biotech shares. So let's get started. On the right side of the panel, you can see all our watch list genomic stocks. Top of the line today happens to be Bluebird, and it's gained around 20 cents. That's 4.91%. That's a handsome gain. And we still have the MACD, which is bearish, but tending towards the signal line. And our overall momentum is below historic levels. So it needs to pick up. Unless the momentum picks up, we are not assured of retaining these gains. So that's what I have to talk about in terms of Bluebird. Teladoc is up 3.49%. That is $1.80. And this green line that we have here, which was the earlier support, is now going to be the next resistance. And this other green line, which was the earlier horizontal support, is going to be a subsequent resistance. So we have to break through those two resistances today if we want to make progress, or maybe tomorrow. And our MACD right now is bearish, indicating that that's not going to happen. However, there's a positive sign out here because momentum is picking up, even though it's very low. still it's a good sign. With the overall market sentiment, if it continues to turn positive with oil prices going down, we would be able to retain some of these gains by the end of the day today. Right now, it's around 10 o'clock in the morning, so there's plenty of time before market close, and anything can happen between here and then. So the main driver is going to be the price of oil. Next, let's look at Allogene. Allogene is up 3.41%, that is 26 cents. And when I look at this chart out here, I can see that we have a bullish MACD, which is trying to move away from the signal line. That's a good sign. And also the fact that momentum is picking up is a good sign. But where the momentum is coming from right now is from a very, very weak position. So there's a long way for the momentum to go before it reaches the average. And I'm always enthusiastic about price being bullish once we are above average. We are a far way away from there, but I'll still take this. And as I mentioned earlier, if oil prices continue to stay low and go down further, we'll have an overall positive market sentiment, and that can allow us to retain this gain. Otherwise, all the gains that we have seen so far, I am seeing them getting wiped out by the end of the day before the close of market hours. Caribou Biosciences is up 1.96%, that is around 17 cents. Again, the MACD is bullish, but it's tending towards the signal line. That's a bad sign. The momentum is picking up, but it's very weak. So the picking up of the momentum is giving me some hope along with the broader market sentiment. As always, we have mentioned with the other shares, oil price is the key denominator of whether we are going to retain this positive today or not. CRISPR is up around 1.71%, that is 99 cents. We are still being constrained by the 9-day and the 20-day exponential moving average, and we are trying to push through that today. MACD is bullish, but it's getting a bit towards the signal line. That's not good. Momentum is picking up and coming closer to average. So if it just goes to be above average, I'll be really, really confident that CRISPR is going to pick up a lot more. But among all the shares that we have seen so far, CRISPR seems to have the best chance of retaining its gains today. And next, if we look at Vertex, it's up 1.62%, and it's looking pretty good out here. MACD is also moving away from the signal line. Momentum is above average. I like everything about Vertex today, and Vertex is likely to remain green today and retain most of its gains so far. As I mentioned, it's now around 10 o'clock in the morning, so there's plenty of time to go in the market. So at least for the next 3 to 4 hours, we seem to be good for Vertex. Editas is up 1.78%, and we have got the MACD crossing over almost on top of the signal line. That's not a good sign because it's going to turn bearish. However, the momentum is looking up. That's a positive sign, though it is below average. So I'm not very sure that Editas can retain all its gain for the day. Let's go on to Regeneron, which is up 1.3%, and we are, I think we have been steadily going up with Regeneron. Look at these candles, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 green candles, or rather 7 or 8 green candles in a sequence. And if you look at the exponential moving averages, they are in the right sequence the way I would like them to be, starting with the 9 days, followed by the 20, 50, and 100-day EMA. So everything is looking picture perfect. The only fly in the ointment right now is the fact that we are coming very close to being overbought for Regeneron. So I'm very confident Regeneron will end up the day green, but potentially we are looking at some sideways movement from this point on. And we have got another 4 hours or 5 hours before the market close. So Regeneron is looking very strong. I'm very happy with the way Regeneron is going. Let's look at Beam. Beam is up 1.95%. And our MACD is absolutely bearish and moving away from the signal line in a bearish manner. Momentum is picking up, but it's not looking good for Beam. And hopefully the overall market sentiment and the falling price of oil can allow it to retain a part of the positive that it has seen today. Otherwise, it's not looking great. ARCG is up 1.15%, and MACD is bearish. The momentum is also below average, and it's just about picking up. We have a doji candle here, which indicates the market is not very clear which side to proceed. And we are still straddling our support line, this green line, which has been coming with us all the way from 8th of March 2021. And it's the support line that we are relying on. and hopefully we persist. Let's go and look at a one-day time frame. In the one-day time frame, you can see that the MACD is going towards the signal line and tending towards being bearish, and the momentum is falling and trying to go below average. That's not a good sign for ARCG. So the market itself is deciding right now, so I don't know which way it's going to go. If oil prices go down, then we are going to retain some of the green. Otherwise, we'll end up flat or red for ARCG. Illumina is down minus 0.9%. On a daily basis, the MACD is bullish, but it's tending towards the signal line. And momentum is falling below average. I don't like that happening there. So there is more pain in store for Illumina. But if you go to a one-year time frame, let us see what is happening out there. We are being bound by the 9-day exponential moving average. MACD is already bearish on the long-term time frame, and the momentum is also weak. And when we look at Illumina, we have some news on Illumina. It introduces a cancer test in Europe. It is meeting all the European Union standards, and this cancer test can help technicians to profile 517 cancer-relevant genes across nearly 30 solid tumor types by testing DNA and RNA and complex genomic signature in order to help clinicians match their patients to available therapies based on their tumor profile. So this is likely to have a good uptake because this is going to give much more certainty for matching therapies with the type of cancer. So this is really good for Illumina. I don't know why Illumina is still struggling. It should get a boost because of this news article, which has just come up today. So if I go back to look at the Illumina chart, I think that it deserves a bump and it should go up further, but it's a question of how fast the market participants are able to see this catalyst. So I'm bullish on Illumina for today, and I think it should be able to retain the gains that it has made so far. Let's go on to Novartis. Novartis is above the 9-day exponential moving average, so it has got a support there, and it has got a resistance at 84.47, and also the 20-day exponential moving average is a resistance. The good thing that I see in Novartis today is that it opened above yesterday's close, and it has fallen now, but it is still above yesterday's close. So I like that. And the MACD is turning towards the bullish side. So that's also a positive. However, the momentum is flat out here. That's something that I don't like. But I am hoping that something would come up for Novartis. If you look at the news for Novartis, they have reported positive new data from phase 3 study of Zolgensma to treat spinal muscular dystrophy. So the shares were up pre-bell on 14th of March. So we got a boost out there. But it seems to be petering out, but it shouldn't. I think given the overall sentiment of the markets, the oil going down and the market being a bit more optimistic, I think we should probably see some more gains on Novartis and erase the red that we see here and end up positive for the day. Because apart from this, Novartis has got a lot of streams of revenue. So I really don't see why there is so much of weakness out here today. It should end up positive or flat by the end of the day, in my opinion. Next, let's look at IMTX. IMTX is down minus 0.45%. And in this long-term chart where each of these candles is 1 day, I can see that the MACD is below historical levels and is continuing to be bearish. That's absolutely a bad sign, and momentum is very, very weak. The interest in IMTX seems to be so low that the stock is disappearing. Let us zoom on to a longer term picture and see where we are. Let me convert this into 1 week. So if each of these candles is a 1 week candle, you can see that this is going further low than it has ever been in its lifetime. So IMTX is looking very weak right now, not only technically, but overall it has been it's been falling continuously for the last 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 days, and for a long period of time. There has not been any green candles so far, and there is not even a dead cat bounce. And despite the market sentiment being slightly positive today, so I really need to probably make a special video on IMTX and need to investigate the source of this weakness. It's possible that maybe the balance sheet is very weak and some kind of share dilution is imminent. I'll check that out when I get some time and put up a video on that later on. PSEB is down 2.25%, and these candles are daily candles. I'm going to zoom out. So we opened low, and then we went up further. So we are still above yesterday's closing, so that's the redeeming factor today, whereas MACD is bearish, and momentum is below average, and even though it's picking up, it doesn't look great for PSEB today. Let us look at PFE, Pfizer. Pfizer is down 1.6%, and it has fallen below the resistance of 52.48. It couldn't hold above it. It went up momentarily, but it came down. Right now it's at 51.45, so 52.48 continues to stay as a resistance. And we have the 20-day EMA, 9-day EMA, 100 and 50-day EMA all forming a support. And the good sign out here is that 9-day EMA is moved clearly above the 20-day EMA. So that's still a positive sign. MACD is bullish. Momentum is falling down, but it's still above average. So I'm comfortable with that, but it needs to start moving up. That's what will keep the MACD above the signal line and keep on increasing the distance between the signal line and MACD going forward. So PFA is likely to have a few more gains before ending the day. Intelia is down 1%, and that translates to around 59 cents. We are just above our support of 56.47. We touched that briefly and came out. And our resistance is going to be at 60.08, which is this red line here. We have fallen significantly. I'm going to convert all those old supports into resistance. So that's where we are. And our MACD is absolutely bearish. And our momentum is almost non-existent. So it's not looking good for Intelia today. Further losses in store. Verve is down 9.36%. Minus 9.36 is a really steep drop. It's down $2.29. MACD is continuing to deviate from the signal line in the most bearish manner possible. Momentum is also falling down significantly. The interest of the investing public is dropping very fast on Verve, and I probably have to dig deeper into Verve and see what is happening from a long-term perspective. So there's potentially a few videos out here for the future, maybe for the weekends. So I'll put that into my list of ideas that we need to explore. And for this for this Saturday, I'm coming up with something on CRISPR therapeutics. It's more of fundamental analysis. So please watch out for that video. It's scheduled for release at 12 o'clock. I'm still working on it. You'll find it very, very interesting. So all of you who are looking for more information on CRISPR therapeutics, tune in on Saturday. So that's about all what I have for you today. I hope you have a great day at the markets. Thanks. And if you're here for the first time, please subscribe. It's absolutely free and help us grow this channel. And if you like this video, put a like out there. Thanks and have a great day. Bye for now.